Hello and a very warm welcome to episode 55 of the Sussex by the Sea podcast, a podcast about all things Hastings United. I'm your host Chris Laverick. On the show today we have local history enthusiast Leon Pettit, who talks his website hastingsfootballhistory.co.uk and gives us a snapshot of the history of our club. Also on the show we have, as ever, our SBTS fan roundtable to round up the week and more. This week, with special guests from our all-conquering and cup final bound under-23 team, Johhny. Enjoy, Hastings fans. And now over to Leon Pettit. We have got the wonderful Leon Pettit here, not Pettit. Yeah, he's not French. No, he's not got long hair. He's not a girly Arsenal player. Like everyone wanted to pull his... Hang on, that sounds dodgy. No, he's not. He's not Emmanuel Petit. He is our own Leon Pettit. He's a local historian. He's also someone who contributes regularly to the fan roundtables you'd have heard and saw him before. We're talking today about a pet project of Leon's, which is a fantastic website. I recommend it to everyone who's a Hastings fan. It's hastingsfootballhistory.co.uk. It is absolutely rammed full of fantastic photos, a big overview and history of Hastings. It's a great read. You've got to have a spare couple of hours to read it all. Leon, first of all, with the website, what made you start it up? Yeah, and how long's it been going for?
I started it in 2015, and there's loads of information out there, regarding local history, but there was definitely a massive gap in sport in general, really, and particularly football. I don't know if it's sort of a local historian thing, but I don't think a lot of them are really into sport or football in particular. You might have a bit on cricket because of the old central grounds. There's quite a bit around that, but yeah, with football, there's not a lot out there. So I've got sort of basic knowledge on web design and that. So I thought, well, why not go and do my own website about it, because I sort of knew it would be, there'd be interest out there because a lot of people like to reminisce and like to see old photographs and that. Yeah, just many hours later, it's still a work in progress. I'll be working on it for years, probably. Yeah, I'm sure many people have gone on there. There's still lots of gaps to fill. But
Leon, said it better than that, mate. It's fantastic, honestly, from someone who doesn't know all the history. Like, you've been going donkey's years longer than I have. Yeah. And the bits and pieces that you pick up on that you don't know about, but actually, like for anyone that's a fan of the club, again, I highly recommend it. I mean, in terms of, there's too long to mention in terms of the very, very long history of all the ups and downs of the club. I mean, could you give kind of like an overview of how the club, for the newer fans, because I've had quite a few of them contact the podcast and talk about, becoming newer fans, becoming interested, and how the current team has really brought them out. And as we've seen with attendances going up, desperate to look into the history. Hastings as a club, how did we start, and kind of a little overview of, if you can, of our history in general.
Yeah, so I think I'll start off by saying Hastings United Mark 1, they were founded in 1948, folded in 85. They're a completely separate club. So a lot of people out there think we're the same. The current Hastings United are the same club that went on those famous cup runs back in the 50s. But the current Hastings United was founded as Rock'n'Or, very much like an old town club. It was, the fishermen, boatmen, old town family. Like, if you look through the early seasons, you'll see quite a few surnames I'm sure you recognise, like Adams, if it's any relation to Sammy, Edmonds, Mitchell, White, that sort of thing. And they very quickly become one of the strongest clubs in the area. Around 1920, they'd reformed after the First World War, pretty much become like the strongest, most senior club in the area. And that's when they become Hastings and St Leonard's and joined the Sussex County League and had a season in the County League as Rock'n'Or. But they were very much still viewed as an old town team. So it's 1921, they changed the name to Hastings and St Leonard's, just sort of try and attract more fans and players.
I was wondering what the reason was behind that name change. That was the reason, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And that sort of caused some confusion because there was another sort of Old Town team that changed their name to Rock and Roll like a couple of weeks after. So if you like go through the records, you'll see like the Rock and Roll name just carries on, but they're technically two separate clubs. But I mean, a lot of the old members probably would have then gone on to support the newer Rock and Roll. Obviously, they're still going today in the East Sussex League. Then they sort of just ploughed forward as a county league team, quite uneventful. And then the 1930s was probably the most successful era for the club. They joined this league called the Southern Amateur League and won Division 1 about 4 times, I think, off the top of my head, and won the Sussex Senior Cup. Sort of become like one of the strongest sides in the county up until the outbreak of World War II, which obviously interrupted football across the country. Following that, they make a return, and it's 1948. Hastings United are formed, which means Hastings St Leonard's then kicks off the pilot field and unable to find a suitable home, basically. So in this the league called the Athenian League, which is still like senior football. So you need like an enclosed ground, sort of basic facilities, which no else in the town had. So they get kicked off the pilot field, which screws them over massively, really. When researching it, it was quite interesting reading through like all the old Observer snippets. You know, people back then used to write in their for and against, but people wanted to see like professional football in Hastings. But like the old amateur team, they were like a really strong side.
Yeah, so Leon, just a second. So you were saying that Hastings United, just to make it clear, so Hastings United are formed. Now, Hastings United a separate team from the Hastings and St Leonard's?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So Hastings St Leonard's the former Rock and Roll. So
that they kick Hastings St Leonard's out of the pilot field.
Yeah.
Just so from a point of view of the Hastings United we support now, is that the Hastings and St Leonard's that are kicked off the pilot field?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's so this imposter Hastings United is on our pilot field, basically, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
All right, mate. Sorry, I'm just for those that aren't as completely clued up as you, mate.
It is confusing. I mean, there's loads of people out there into like their football history that have got their wires crossed with different clubs, because you've had various clubs called Hastings and St Leonard's over the years, and people think it's the same, the same club.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then going on from that, they end up settling at what is now called the Firs, which was back then the pilot field upper pitch, but become known as the Firs, and end up joining Division 2, the Sussex County League, when that was formed. And then for the next, say, 20 odd years or so, it was pretty uneventful for the team. I think they probably bit more than they could chew, finished bottom about 3-4 seasons in a row. Also, obviously trying to rebuild after being kicked off the pilot field. And we get to 1976 when they changed name to Hastings Town, which would be probably a more familiar name for, many people out there.
Yeah. Just so for a second here, Leon. So that Hastings United that are still playing, are they still playing on the pilot field?
Yes.
The imposter Hastings United.
Yeah, the imposter Hastings United, still Southern League. Yeah. Whilst Little R Hastings and St Leonard's Hastings Town are County League, playing next door.
And we're playing next door to them. All right, yeah. So that must have been a lively old derby, but anyway.
I think they did play each other a couple of times, like in the FA Cup, probably like Sussex Cup games. But yeah, it must have been. So I got to name change, 1976, now called Hastings Town. And then 1979, they finally win something. They win Division 2 of the County League and get promoted into Division 1. Remain there. Looked like quite a decent side. I think they had quite a few decent finishes. And then 1985, the imposter Hastings United fold. I mean, they.
And why did that happen, Leon?
Well, because they've been plagued with like money issues throughout their history, really. And sort of like the tax bill, I think, finally caught up with them. But yeah, they obviously were in the Southern League, and then Hastings Town applied to take their place in the Southern League. So move up from the County League into the Southern.
For new fans, that Southern League, what would you compare it to the step that Hastings are in right now, in terms of what was that in relation to where our team plays right now?
So when the imposter Hastings United folded, you would have had the Football League, then what is now the National League, which was back then called the Alliance League, and then the Southern Premier. And you think before that, the Alliance League was formed, it would have been Football League, Southern League Prem. So like the old Hastings United played at, a really good standard. But yeah, so they fold. Hastings Town take their place, but put in the Southern Division, because in the Premier, I think it was Whitney Town were just about avoided relegation because of Hastings United folding. So they appealed against it, and Hastings Town were put in the Southern Division, but I mean, they still got promoted. They finished mid-table of County League and still effectively promoted, and took a lot of old Hastings United players. And then the 90s for Hastings Town was quite successful. Won the Dr. Martin's League Cup, the Sussex Senior Cup twice, won the league 92. And now we get into more years. I remember they won the Southern League Southern Division 2001 2002, and then that summer they become Hastings United, changed from all white or white and red colours to claret and blue. The pilot field gets a mate lift.
I'll tell you what, one of the things that Windy mentioned, which was Stamco. Where's Stamco come into all this?
So I was about to say, go back to 1985. Also, when Hastings Town take United's place in the Southern League, they also returned to the pilot field, which we've obviously been playing since. Yeah. Stamco were basically formed from Stamco, the company, the builders merchants. Yeah. Basically, they just rose up from the local leagues, end up in the county league, late 80s, I think, and I think early 90s they end up taking over the Spurs for groundbreaking reasons, because they've been promoted so many times. And then come the mid 90s, Stamco, a Southern League team, and you've got the Hastings Town St Leonard's. Well, they changed name to St Leonard's 97. I'm going to.
You Stamco did, yeah.
Fact check this, but yeah. And then you get the Hastings Town St Leonard's derbies, which were cracking games. Like back then, pilot fields, you'd be happy to see 600 up there, and then back then St Leonard's you'd get 1200 at least. Mostly local players as well. They all know each other, so good feisty games. St Leonard's St Leonard's Stamco had spent quite a lot of money, sort of same old story really, and their tax bill ends up catching up with them, and they folded 2004.
In terms of money issues and things like that, so when does Mark come into it? Because Mark when did Mark buy the club, or he invested in the club? Was that early 2000s? I'm trying to remember. You remember the lottery winner?
Mark Gardner.
I used to drink with him in the Welly, yeah. Why did Mark take over? Was that just because he'd started coming along to watch Hastings, or was there some financial issues, or what?
From what I'm aware, he took over St Leonard's first. All I know is he was involved with them for a while before he then took over Hastings, and was promising to get us in the Football League within 5 years or something like that. When you had Simon Stoddart on here, his old fanzine was called Ghost of Mark Gardner's 5-year plan. I think it was Ghost of United and changed it to that. Yeah. And then that all ended sourly. I remember him just sort of packed up and left really. And then because we had quite a few players on high wage bills, that ended up screwing over Hastings Town. And I think they entered administration. And who was it? It was the other local lottery guy took over, Mick Mapleson. Yeah. Him and like a consortium took us over, I think, 99 and saved us. But and then Mark Gardner, I really haven't heard much from him since.
God, it's difficult, isn't it? Because this isn't the most easy history to go through, with all the name changes and all the stuff, the intrigue going on. So we were at the 90s. So you've got, who have you got at the first? You've got
St Leonard's.
You've got St Leonard's at the first, and we've obviously got the proper Hastings United at the pilot field now, yeah?
Yeah. So this is 2002. They changed the name to United, and then so Hastings was always like a Southern League club. Moved to the Isthmian when the FA started reshuffling the leagues about 2004, 2005. Sort of nothing really significant more to add. Nothing, up until now.
Well, we had Neville Southall for a little while, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
remember him, blimey.
That was random. He used to sit up in the stand, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sit up in the stand first half, and then come down the dugout to get a better view of the pitch. But
We had Neville Southall as a manager, so that was an interesting period. And then, well, we obviously had the cup run.
of course, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, sort of after Neville Southall around that time, it sort of started the old managerial merry-go-round, didn't it? We've gone through like a ridiculous amount of managers. We won the playoffs 2006, 2007. About 2012, obviously Razor's in charge, and we got on that amazing cup run. That game at Harrogate was a bloody brilliant night. Yeah. To see the pilot field that packed as well was just amazing. Like the TV crew, everything was surreal.
No, I mean, one of the funny things about that night was I just remember it. Obviously, goalie was injured, and they kept kicking it to the bit where the leg that wasn't injured, and I'm thinking, what?
Yeah. But I think the goal they scored was because he was injured, wasn't it? They put in a cross and you could see him like limping, and they headed it in.
It's a mad game. That was such a mad game. Oh, man, do you remember that? I mean, it was rocking. I mean, I was actually in the main stand.
Was you?
I was in the main stand for maybe some of the first half, maybe a little bit of the second, and then I'm like, nah, I'm getting behind the goals now. I can't be. Yeah. That was when I was a bit of a main stand. I mean, that season, obviously, it really did go. Well, it went tits up, didn't it? Really, it was in the terms of the league, it was polar opposites. A fantastic cup run. Yeah. Everyone was hyped for it, but then when you turned up for a league game, it was, it was like chalk and cheese, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like hungover, wasn't it? The high of that, after the Borough game. And then sort of it was back to reality, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, then we had a bit of that. And then obviously, because we went down.
Since come close a couple of times, haven't we, in the playoffs, but I haven't quite managed it. And if it weren't for that, if it weren't for bloody COVID, we'd be at least one league higher, wouldn't we?
This season, Leon.
It is.
It is, isn't it?
It seems to be going our way, doesn't it?
It's happening, mate. It's happening now.
Good.
No, I mean, that's tremendous. I mean, thanks for that.
Go on my website if you've got like a couple of hours to spend. Have a read through, and it's obviously not just Hastings.
So you've got what, Hollington, you've got St Leonard's. What you got?
Yeah, so literally basically football was first played in the town like in the 1880s, and like every club I've come across, I've listed on my website. I've got teams like Hollington, obviously quite a prominent local club, quite well supported, and surrounding teams as well, like Bexhill, Little Commons. So you don't necessarily have to be a Hastings fan to have an interest in this, but not even a football fan. If you're interested in local history, have a read. I've had people get in contact, asking about family members that have played for clubs, if they've got any photos. Just if you're doing a bit of family history research, it could be a good place to come have a look or get in touch, and I'll see if I can help you out.
So in terms of getting in contact with you, Leon, obviously we've got the website hastingsfootballhistory.co.uk. Is there any other way, if anyone does want to get in contact with you directly, is there anything you want to give out?
Yeah, so on social media, I've got Twitter and Facebook. My Twitter is at HFH_1066. Getting the contact form on the website if you want to get in touch as well. So
otherwise, if you don't want to do that, contact myself on the podcast, and I will absolutely forward anything on to Leon. So fantastic website. I put Leon on the spot a little bit there, trying to give the entire history of the crazy history of Hastings United. But thanks very much, Leon. Leon, are you going ASHFORD?
No.
Hang on.
I should be playing, actually. So,
well, Leon, I won't see you at that game. Recording this is the week before, so I will see you at the Burgess Hill game.
I'll see you there.
But good luck to Icklesham. Where are you in the league?
Mid-table. I'm going to say mid-table.
How can you not know where you are in the league? Look at, what, you're a sub then?
Turn up and play.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right.
Basically, we're not top. We're not doing that well. So yeah, we're not bottom. We're not top.
Yeah.
Turn up and play to the pub afterwards.
Yeah, that's more like it. So what's your nearest pub there?
Queen's Head.
So right, so basically you're playing, and it's more the pub afterwards than the game itself. Yeah.
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 Pretty much. Yeah, more the social side of it than.
Yeah. No, great
If
stuff.
I took football seriously, I would have tried to have played higher years ago. But
well, it's good that you're still playing, Leon.
Yeah, no, I just keep playing for as long as I can.
So, what's going to be knackered out first? Would it be the knees or?
I think my job getting in the way more than anything. Yeah, you seem to sort of finish later and later on a Saturday.
Well, it's all that Amazon stuff you're delivering, aren't you?
Yeah,
Bezos, mate.
Yeah, everyone
in control of Bezos. Listen, it's an absolute pleasure, Leon. Thank you very much for this, and I'll see you at a game.
I'll see you at a game. Yeah,
a game. All right, take care. Thanks for
cheers,
this,
mate. Thanks.
And now over to the SBTS fan roundtable, and a big thank you to Leon, Matt, Andy, Windy John, and Wills, and of course special guest Jordan Ray for making it happen. Right, gentlemen.
Is that it? Are we finished now? That was a good one this week.
Salute, Wills. Right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, gentlemen.
We're just going to leave him. We're just going to leave him stood on his head there, or whatever he is.
Yeah. What's going on with you, Wills?
I've got a horizontal profile. Are you all the other way around then?
Oh, there you go. Right, gentlemen. Thank you for joining me for this round table. We've got the lovely, annoying Wills, the lovely Matt, the lovely Leon, the wonderful Windy. He's always windy, is Windy. And of course, Flat White. Have you been?
Nothing about Flat White. I mean, John got lovely. I got irritating, and Flat White didn't get anything.
Nothing else to say, John.
He's a hero. He's a hero. Now, right, gentlemen. Right. So we've had. Where do we start? Burgess Hill. Thought it was a really good game. Obviously, the wrong side of a result. A keeper who, despite John Wills throwing abuse at, what did you call him? Wesley from Harry Potter?
No, he was called Ronald Weasley, wasn't he?
That's it, Ronald Weasley.
Ginger hair, poor lad. Only 16, but incredible. He had the last laugh, didn't he? Mm. He composed himself. He kept his cool. Wasn't rattled by it. And to be quite honest, I don't know what anyone else thought, but that's one of the best defeats I've seen. I really enjoyed the, apart from the final score, of course.
Yeah, chaps. I mean, a tremendous game from him, but then equally, I thought CC had a good game. There's lots of people in the team I thought had a good game. We just could not get that ball over the line. Who wants to jump in? Leon?
Yeah, I was basically going to say the same, really. Good game, good keeper, unfortunately for the wrong team.
All right, Bruce.
It makes it easier to sort of digest the defeat when you played well, doesn't it? If we played shit and got turned over, you'd have plenty to moan about. But
yeah,
another day, could have been 4, could have been 5, could have gone any way, couldn't it?
Really, if you're going to pick anything, is for 2 of their goals, I remember it was individual errors. I can't remember their third goal, but it's errors on our part that gifted them 2 goals, and I think them taking the lead stunned us a little bit. I think we were playing well up until they took the lead, and sort of stunned us for a bit, and then we come back into the game.
Did Finn? I don't remember completely, but did Finn get injured when that mistake happened? Because it was Finn that got.
Yeah, I think it was in their box. He tackled one of their players and flattened him.
John, you were saying?
I forgot what I was saying.
Oh, fucking hell.
No,
and what's happened to Windy? What's happened to Windy? Look.
Repercussions of a...
You've frozen Windy.
What? See,
Look
you're not listening.
Can't you see him?
What?
Look at Windy's screen.
All I've got on here is you and me.
You just want to look at me, right? I'm a happily married man. I've got 5 kids.
Yeah, no, it's those photos we did last year.
Oh, yeah, well, we don't want to talk about that.
That sound like happily married.
Yeah. I'm hoping we've also got Jordan with us.
What, the TB
Yeah. No, not Jordan with the mega boobies. We're talking Jordan Ray, under 23 star, mate.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I came on here.
He's been duped.
Jordan, mate. Don't
Oh,
Hello, really?
have words, Jordan. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh God, I'm not the one with the big boobs. No, that's not me.
No. That's, he's disappointed. He's an old perv. He's an old perv, Jordan. I'm sorry. Yeah, we were literally just touching on the Burgess Hill. We weren't touching on boobies. We were touching on Burgess Hill. It's fucking hell. Right, yeah. So John, we were just talking about the Burgess Hill game. Wilsey, you were talking about Finn getting injured.
Yeah, I a couple of minutes before he went off, he made this crunching tackle in their penalty area, and it completely flattened the guy. And he just got up and made out it was nothing to him. But I think he might have crocked himself in that. I'm not sure. I might be completely wrong.
Well, I'll talk to him. Oh, go on. Sorry, Andy, please.
Go on. Yeah. So where was that? Because that was the one thing I don't remember that, but it was very strange that was the one feature of the first 20 minutes for me, that he looked very just bizarrely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
For the first time I've ever seen him look as though he wasn't comfortable doing what he was doing, and whether he was crocked early on or not, and the pass that he gave away for them to set up the first goal was just quite glaring, because it was almost literally in the first time I'd seen him make a real full-on mistake since he's played for us. So it was quite unusual, but he carried on right through to half time, didn't he? Yes. So he must have thought he could sort of run it off. That's why it's a pity that James isn't on, because obviously James might have had some insight into that, because he was on the bench, wasn't he?
Yeah. But, well, Jordan, I mean, I spoke to Finn after the game, and he reckoned he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. I mean, what have you heard, mate?
I haven't heard too much, to be honest. Yeah, nothing's been mentioned to me. So I didn't actually know he was injured, to be honest.
Jordan, they're keeping you out of the loop here, mate. You want to have words?
I know.
He's completely in the zone for Thursday. Nothing else is creeping into his consciousness.
You should have got the right Jordan on. I can't.
Don't have this from Wills. Tell him to jog on, Jordan, mate.
I think, funnily enough, Finn O'Mara being injured, and then because Ollie Black always fills in really well when he moves into the centre, so it wasn't necessarily the thing that killed us. It's very strange how we seem to struggle against these teams that just scuttle around. And there was nothing great about that team apart from they're just a load of smallish blokes who just kept on moving, and they were able to kill when we lost momentum. There were periods where we just didn't get the ball back, second half particularly, which really killed it after we scored our second goal. It's really strange. ASHFORD, Cray, these teams that just seem to be just disciplined and functional, we seem to have struggled against. Also very disappointing that we lost another. The only thing that really disappointed me about it was losing another one of those sort of big, everybody turn up, set piece sort of events that brings the crowds in.
I thought we got off to a really slow start. I know we let in a goal really early, but I just didn't think. I don't know. We seemed flat-footed. They were up for it straight away. Yeah. We were missing some steel in the middle, and I think for the first half, Dicko. Yeah.
Well, I agree. I think
just a bit of crunch. That's all we needed, just to put the message out. You know, we're not messing around. But I don't know. I think they just took command early on, and it stuck.
Yeah, they just had our number a little bit. We were always felt like we were behind.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We were always chasing it. And and we didn't help ourselves by missing at the goal. The goalie made some good saves, but I think
some great saves.
Great
yeah,
saves.
Norrie. I think I wouldn't mind betting that Gary Elphick and the coaching team, I bet they're looking at things we did rather than the goalkeeper. If you think both Kenny and Norrie Scott missed really good far post opportunities, what Leon said about the mistakes, 2 near post headers,
Yeah.
one straight in and one flick on for the last goal. And also, if I think, again, going back to thinking about us rather than them, I'll bet it's a real shame that Tom settled in. He plays so well in that full-back role and coming out with the ball. It was really, really silly pushing that guy over in the corner when he was running away from the goal. I bet he kicked himself for that, because that was just.
Did he push him over though? Because it didn't look like it from me. But then
but you
I'm
just
probably
don't
a
go
little
near.
bit biased.
Again, he's a winger himself, isn't he? So you must know not to. If someone goes near him, he's going down. So shoes on the other.
Tom Chom's ain't a diver, Andy. Yeah,
I didn't say that. I said he's a very, very good footballer. You go near him, that bloke's going to go down, isn't he? And that was a really, really bad blow just before half time.
Yeah, it was a pointless challenge, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, give teams like that an inch, and that was the thing. Still, lots of good lessons to learn.
Yeah, I think we definitely looked a lot better second half. I mean, we deserved at least a draw, but possibly all 3 points, really. But
I think we wouldn't be having this conversation if that goalie hadn't played so well.
No, he was brilliant. No, he was really good. Top man.
He was there, like after the game, I was to say, Leon, he was there. John, you were there. Everyone went up to him, shook his hand. He had a cracking game. He really did. And
yeah, good on him as well.
Yeah.
Not an easy environment for a keeper, as we know.
No, but he's you could tell by the way he was behaving around the goal kicks and that sort of thing. He's obviously come from a really, really proper, serious environment. Is he on loan from Brighton?
Yeah, I was talking to a season ticket holder of Brighton, and he knew him quite well, and he said that he's got very good prospects.
His temperament was absolutely bulletproof. The way he sucks it up and kept on going until the referee books him. He knew the booking was coming, but he kept on going till the booking came on the basis that he knew he wouldn't get sent off. So what did he care?
And he's only just barely 17, about 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
Mature play, isn't it, to do that?
Yeah.
Hastings lad.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I really didn't think overall it was a bad performance. I think if you take the corner count alone, I think we had about 10 or 11 corners to their 2 or 3. And I thought Cisse was really, he was all over that guy on the left wing, wasn't he? And Norrie put in a bit, but he wasn't quite as spectacular as the week before. But good, solid performances there. But like you say, we missed Jack in the centre of midfield, and I think Sammy was trying to do that role as well as his own. I think it shows how valuable Jack Dixon has become to us at the moment.
I looked at the team sheet when it came out, and without Jack in the middle, I was thinking who is going to be the actual central midfielding in that team, because there's a lot of attacking players and there's obviously defenders, but that sort of spine and that chunk in the middle, where was it going to be? Maybe that's the difference between controlling the ball a bit more in there.
Yeah. And I think we all missed seeing Jack tackle there, because a tackle can motivate others. There's just that energy, that determination inspires others, I think.
I didn't think the pitch played as well as it has been. After the couple of weeks ago, I'm not really surprised, but it's certainly bobbled around. No, I'm not going to say that. Certainly bobbled around a lot. And that's not, it doesn't suit our play, does it, at home? We're not used to it. Whereas other teams are used to it. So there you go.
Going back on Jack, he was obviously away on honeymoon, wasn't he? I think he's back now. But when someone's saying like his first game, he was actually suspended. So I'm just wondering if he's sort of tactically timed 1 or 2 yellow cards because he knew he wasn't going to be going to be available.
Chris honeymoon. Love it.
Weeks. Yeah.
Good idea. Get them out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, think smart.
Unloading from Dicko there. Right.
So I think it was. I think it was one of those games where the small mistakes we made, we just didn't get away with it because they were a team that was right in a rich vein of form. Other times we might have got away with that and not even been talking about the silly little things that happened.
Yeah.
It was just they were right. They were sharp, and they took their chances. Think how many chances they had. They took them. I mean,
They did.
even that bloke putting in the rebound from Louis' parry. I mean, it was a smart finish. He just stuck that straight back past him, didn't he?
He did.
These things happen.
Yeah.
16 points from their last 8 games is a good return, isn't it? They're obviously riding high, weren't they?
Yeah, no, it's very good.
It was bound to happen at some point. Us dropping points, wasn't it? Like you say, we've got on a really good run. The other teams around us have dropped points. We were bound to at some point. It's all about how we bounce back.
It does make Saturday incredibly important psychologically. I think we cannot lose again to Ashford. We just can't lose again to Ashford.
No, I'll take a point.
Yeah,
Hey, hang on, Windy, you're taking no points. I saw what you put down, mate.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's so that at least I'll get some pleasure out of the weekend. Just
Can you bet against your own team?
I've done it loads of times.
Yeah. Right. Well,
I think Andy.
who's chairing this? Oi, John, what are you going to say?
All right, I forgot you can always swap that bit round like you asked me. You know.
What's going on with that comb over as well, mate? What's happening with that hair today?
That's not nice, is it? You invite people on and then you moan at their hairstyles. What was I going to say?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that situation where we have to win against Ashford, but I think what you're saying, Andy, is psychologically we're sick of seeing them taking points off of us and having the bragging rights. You know, we are putting away the lower placed teams.
Yeah, that's
what wins you the league. You know, so I mean, it's not a must-win game, but I don't think you meant that.
No, it isn't a must-win game, but we can't afford to. Okay, of course we can afford to lose it, but I personally am, and I bet a few of them are. It's just we've got to stop losing. Eventually, if you keep on losing to the top 5 teams, it will catch up with you by the end of the season. You can't keep on having bad results against the top 5 teams and win all the others and hope the points accumulate.
Well, we are top though, remember?
Andy. Yeah, I know that. I know.
All right, mate. Right.
Can I add, we did beat them in the Cup 2-0 back in October.
Yes, we did.
I know it's not league points, but there's surely something there of recent history to look back on and say, we know we can beat them.
Yeah, and then we did immediately lose to them in the league, didn't we? So
it was with a massive crowd as well, wasn't it? Like someone said earlier.
I'm not pessimistic. I think
you're not, are you? Yeah.
I'm not pessimistic. I'm just saying, you know, it's a game. It's not a game to lose.
You're pessimistic. You and Windy, you both think we're going to lose. Actually, Jordan, if you're still awake, Jordan, right?
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, James has. Well, this is the excuse he used to say that he wasn't coming on. That he's been called up to the first team for training.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that real? He weren't like washing his hair or something like that.
That's what he's told me, but I never know with him. Never know.
What do we think? Do we think a cheeky little nutmeg of his brother winner in the 90th minute on Saturday?
That would be something, wouldn't it? That would be something.
Yeah.
I'll be straight on the phone to his brother. It'd be great to see, to be fair.
We need to be talking under 23s now because we have got Jordan Ray on. Now, Jordan.
Yes.
We're talking under 23s.
John's got to fed the cat.
Oh, is he? Right.
Well, Jordan would be playing better with football by the time we actually asked him about football.
You missed the
Right. Yeah, it was the only reason he was on was the boob gag. No, John's on because we want to talk this magnificent cup run. I mean, is there any particular games that you went through? Because as I say, I've got it here. You beat. Is it Staining Town? Is that Staining?
Staining, yeah.
Staining Town, yeah. You smashed Worthing, Broadbridge Heath, and then you beat Chichester. I mean, in terms of that cup run, were any of them hairy games?
Not really, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, a lot of them were comfortable. Chichester was definitely our hardest. They were actually better than what I expected them to be. But other than that, I think mostly comfortable.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
So, I mean, who's the mainstays in the team? I mean, obviously James is getting the goals, and like your performances I'm hearing have been fantastic. I mean, what's the spine of the team like?
Good, very good. So we got Harvey Gregg plays, Jack Bates, Freddie Legg, really, really strong side, and a lot of these boys, a few of them are with Sussex schools and stuff. So we've got a very strong team.
Yeah, I mean, on top of that, you do the coaching as well, don't you, with James? Don't you, with the under 9s,
under 7s, yeah,
under 7s, yeah,
yeah.
God, how have you got the time for all this?
I don't know. It's all right. I just make time. To be fair,
yeah,
this all seems to fit into place during the day. So
does your old man just tell you, like, you're just doing this, otherwise I'll give you a slap? Or, I mean, what you like with him? Do you know?
All right, he helps me out, to be fair.
Yeah,
he does help me out with some stuff. So all good.
So in terms of the under-23 game, so you're playing at Lancing. Have you had any experience of playing on that ground?
I've never played. I've been there. I've never played there. So it'd be a new experience for me. Yeah.
Has any of the other lads played there?
I know James has a couple times. Off the top of my head, I assume so, because I remember a couple of years ago, I think it was under 15s, got to a Sussex Cup final, I believe. So I think a few of them might, but I'm not too sure.
What's the bonus like? So when you win, because you lads are going to win, have you got? Is there a bonus? Is there a few beers somewhere, or is it?
We'll have to wait and see.
Okay. You can keep the cards close to your chest. Don't worry.
I'm old enough for beer. It'd be Panda Pops, wouldn't it?
Shandy Bass. Shandy Bass.
And Monster Mug.
Yeah.
So, how old are you, Jordan?
I'm 20.
That's what I mean. You can have a beer. Don't even try. He's been on the beer for a while, I bet.
Yeah, I think I'm the oldest in the group, apart from Ben Cornelius.
Oh, wow.
So in Hastings, of course, he's been on the beer for 3 years.
You might not be the oldest in this group.
Wait.
Yeah. Chaps, anything you want to ask Jordan about the under-23s? Come on.
Your prediction?
I'm going to go 5-0. 5-0 win.
Yeah.
Jordan, have you seen New Haven? Has anybody watched them or know much about them?
I haven't seen them, but when they beat Eastbourne Town in the semi-final, I've got a few friends that play for Eastbourne Town, so I've kind of got the gist of what they're about from them. So, and their highlights were put on Twitter, so I watched them and stuff. So I've got the gist, really.
Yeah.
Do you know who the main threats are for them?
The centre forward's meant to be quite decent. The fullback's meant to be fairly quick, and a holding midfielder, I believe. I think that's about it. They're the ones that got pointed out.
Fullbacks will need to be quick, won't they?
Oh, against Freddie Legg, yeah.
Yeah.
He is unbelievably quick.
Yeah, in terms of obviously this is good stuff, top of the league as well, it needs mentioning in the final. I mean, how many of these lads do you think can make this first team?
9 or 10, easily.
So that's good for the future.
Think of it, quite a few of them already have, haven't they?
I was just going to say. Got a few in there.
Yeah.
Jordan, when is it a frustrating time when did you say you're 20 and you're thinking of being ready for first team football? Is it sometimes a bit frustrating knowing where your future lies?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I know that I've still got a fair bit of development to do before I, get ready for that. To be around it and to get, a hiss at opportunities would be something that I'm aiming for right now. But frustrating, I wouldn't say that as much, because I know where I've got to be to reach the standards of, like Craig Stone and stuff. But I just know I've got to be patient and when that opportunity comes, I'll be there to take it.
That's good. Good answer.
Very good answer. Very good answer.
And sure, it must be better to be in a club where you've got those kind of players to look up to, mustn't it, as well? So it's got to be a help for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I remember in pre-season, I was having a conversation with Brownie about becoming more of a leader in the 23s. And it was just being around, like Sammy Adams, Jack Dixon, that really kind of helped me find my balance of having to go at people and also having that calm voice to encourage as well. So it's very helpful having those players around.
Yeah, some pretty impressive role models across that team. And also, the older lads for that, and then the brilliant younger lads who are breaking through to show that it can be done. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, the young lads coming through are doing brilliant, to be fair. TC doing really well.
Yeah. Have you given James Hull any rollickings yet? Come on, tell me. Come
on. I haven't as much, no.
All right.
I'm kind of letting him get ready.
Yeah. All right. Oh, yeah. You see, you're lovely, aren't you, Jordan? You see, you're lovely. Like with your old man, like obviously your old man was quite quietly spoken, but when he needed to take about four people out, he did so. Is this how you're on the pitch? How would you explain your game?
I don't know. I think I'm quite composed. I just kind of go with what I'm being told by the manager. So that when I've been out on loan at a few clubs, if I need to go longer and stuff and play more percentage football, I'm happy to do so. But also under Brownie of the 23s, I'm happy to play out the back with a striker closing me down. So I'd say I'm fairly comfortable in most scenarios. Unfortunately, I'm not quite 6'4". I'm only 5'11". So aerially, I'm decent, but against a bigger centre forward, it's a bit more of a challenge for me. Yeah. So just maybe becoming a bit more bigger and smarter in some ways is my next step.
That's good. If you want to grow in hair, that'll add a couple of inches on you. Can I ask you, Jordan? Were you up at the middle of the game with that cup run?
I was, yeah. What
are your memories of it? Because it must have been amazing. Going back 8 years now, but
yeah. I mean, I remember being up at about 5 a.m. for that coach journey. Other than that, I don't remember too much. I remember Bradley's goal and the penalty save from, I think it was Liam was the keeper's name.
Yeah, Liam O'Brien.
Yeah, that's it. Other than that, it was so long ago, I can't remember too much.
Yeah,
he was drinking.
There was an amazing tackle your dad made. We had an attack up that end, and it was broken up, and they broke with speed, and he was supporting the attack the other end, and he must have run about 3/4 of the length of the pitch and put in this sliding tackle, which was a goal saver. We always think of the goal scorers, don't we? But that was just amazing. It was the best moment of the game for me, I think.
Yeah, I think he's mentioned that a couple of times now. I
put it on YouTube. It was just as good as any.
Here's a question then, Jordan. Who's the tougher, you or your dad?
Oh, me, definitely. when I'm his age, I'll still be playing, but he struggles to even walk about nowadays.
That's sports medicine and nutrition for you. You got the benefit of all the modern stuff, Jordan.
I'm his postman. I'll let him know you said that tomorrow.
First class delivery, mate.
Okay, chaps, we got anything more to ask Jordan? Otherwise, we'll let him go.
No, just to wish you all the best. I'm hoping that Laura and I will get over the game actually on Thursday, because we've seen you lot play up at the Pilot Field, and we've really enjoyed the odd time that we've come up. So it really is a really, really good fun experience watching you lads play, and I quite fancy coming over on Thursday. So hopefully we'll be there to give you a shout.
Yeah, hopefully we get a few people up there. To be fair, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that would be good. Be good for all the boys to see that as well.
And obviously we got Mr. Carter on the radio for those that can't make it. So please, what's that? HUFCradio.co.uk, I think it is. But for anyone that ain't there, so yeah, chaps. Well, thank you, thank you, Jordan. Thanks so much for coming on, Jordan. Top man, and good, well, I don't even need to say good luck. As Jeffrey would say, good skill. Yeah, you're going to win, mate. And a big thanks to John, Windy, Leon, Matt, and Flat White, and obviously Jordan for coming on. Cheers, guys. Yeah.
Cheers.
See you again. That's it for another week, Hughes fans. Good luck tonight, all the under-23 lads. Let's bring that cup home. Then on to Saturday, Hughes fans, let's be loud and proud at Ashford, no matter the results. See you there. As ever, if you want to get in contact with the show, or have any suggestions, or want to get in on our weekly roundtables, that email again is hufcpod@gmail.com, or on the Twitter, which is @HUFCpodcast. You can get this podcast on all major platforms, be it Google Podcasts, Audible, iTunes, Spotify, or Amazon Music. And we have a jam-packed YouTube channel, chock-a-block, full of video interviews and episodes from the podcast. Please give it a look, a comment, or a like, but definitely subscribe. It's all free. All that's left for me to say is, I've been your host, Chris Laverick. Hope you have a good week, and see you at the game.